Ready Check Radio. What's up, Internet? It's Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That means here, finally, once again on Ready Check Radio, it's time for the Relic Grind, the Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix podcast. I'm your host, Mike Byrne. As always, welcome. Thank you for bearing with a couple of weeks off while we did some Final Fantasy trading card game stuff. The season is still going. This past weekend, we were in Ottawa at Red Dragon Cards and Games. They held a Materia Cup there. It was a blast. My son made top 16. Unfortunately, got bounced out of the first round there, so did not get his Nats invite. This weekend, we're headed east towards the Philadelphia area on Saturday for an event, and then Erie on Sunday. So no gaming gumbo yet this week. That'll resume next week. But we are back for the Relic Grind here, talking Final Fantasy XIV, just hours, mere hours before Dawntrail early access begins. If you're watching on YouTube, listening on Audible, Spotify, any of those platforms, thank you so much. We appreciate it. While you're there, give it a like, a subscribe, a thumbs up, turn on those notifications, all that good stuff that feeds those algorithms. Joining us to go over all kinds of Dawntrail prep and what we're looking forward to and recapping some of the news, Mr. Chris Montoya, a.k.a. Tarkoth. What's up, sir?
Greetings, programs. Literally hours. It feels so good. New expansion.
Yeah.
Always hype season. Also, the hype is that your boy Tark is now a triple legend.
Oh.
Got top done on Monday.
Congrats.
Woo!
Congrats. Just got it in under the wire. Congrats, my friend.
I know you know poor.
I'm a little bit poor, but it's done. And Party Finder is a crap show. Just saying.
Yeah.
Run it out there.
No. Sorry, I thought if you think you're dropping breaking news on that one, friend, it's been a long time
There's
known.
a lot of new players, with the Xbox and Microsoft, just letting them know.
Also joining us, Mr. Paul Berlin, a.k.a. Flynn. What's up, boss?
Yo, I am so prepared. I've got my dressing gown already. Not like it is midnight trying to think I'll probably pass out to sleep before Dawntrail actually is live, but what can I do?
We literally have 10 hours to go. So it'll be 2 a.m. Pacific time. That's 5 a.m. here on the East Coast. Literally 10 hours to go before early access begins, and we can all get these stupid Mountain Zoo codes out of our email that have just been sitting there because you can't claim them until early access began anyway. Got confirmation about my collector's set shipping, so I have my code to register on the 2nd. I'm all squared away on all the business end of Dawntrail. Now we get to focus on just the fun part. But since our last show, there's been a couple of live letters. Obviously, we had the media tour week where, everybody got to get hands-on with certain things. Maybe that caused a little controversy here and there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But looking back over the last couple of weeks with no shows here, soaking in all the Dawntrail news, Tark, what are you seeing that you like? What has surprised you maybe in some of the live letters? Stuff like that. Give us the Tark catch-up on Dawntrail news.
The thing that surprised me the most is how a lot of jobs are just going to feel the same as they were in Endwalker. There's a little spice here and there, but my Sage, nothing's really changed. There's a little extra button that I get to press. Summoner, the rotation's basically the same. I'm just doing Solar Bahamut. Not much is changing with the jobs other than, the 2 new jobs.
Yeah, and from everything that I've seen on that front, by the way, talking about the jobs, it feels like, okay, Viper is ridiculously fast, but then Picto seems maybe a little bit too slow. So it's kind of like we've got both spectrums from everything I've seen there. We'll talk about the jobs specifically because I do want to talk about what are you looking forward to the most. But recapping some of the live letters and content, I don't think, Flynn, there was anything groundbreaking in them. There is a notable missing item, which we'll get to in just a little bit, that we didn't get any news on, even a mention of, really. But looking back over the past couple of weeks, no shows, Flynn, what's got you hyped? What did you like seeing from Yoshi P and team and some of the media week?
Honestly, seeing certain jobs, the ones I enjoy playing, not changing over much, it's nice just to have a level of comfort as they're trying to go through the combat system and their design philosophies there. Just the desire to change their philosophies for certain things has been probably the highlight for the majority of it. The rest of it is just what we're used to with new expansion news for the most part.
Do either of you still have the same type of feeling that we've expressed on this show? A little bit of concern for Dawntrail, right? Like, we're going into this effectively as we went into a Realm Reborn, right? The stage is reset. We know how the systems work in this MMO, but we have no idea, like, who our baddies are going to be. It may be, right, if you played Vanilla 1.0, you had an idea that going into a Realm Reborn, Garleans were going to be a big part of it, but maybe you didn't know exactly who because some trailers led you to believe that people may have died or disappeared at the time. So you didn't have a specific person, but you had an idea. We have no clue here, right? We know we're going to a cool little island, having a mojito.
Island.
and yeah, cool little area, having a mojito and helping somebody we literally just met become ruler. And hope for the best. Hope that we have picked the right person because we went hunting with them once. It seems very slapdash to me. I still have concerns on it. I wonder if you guys do too, where you have to set the stage. Like, Final Fantasy XIV fans understand that the stories are going to be a slower burn. I get that. Yeah. Like, we know that. But when you reset the stage, you bring on the Xbox and new players there, which, by the way, that's not going all that great for Xbox players and for Square Enix. I don't think they're quite doing the numbers that they really expected to do there. When you have this chance to drop an expansion, bring on a new platform, and all these things happen virtually simultaneously, I don't think you can slow burn that audience at first. You got to give them a burst, a boom, a punch in the face, grab you by the collar. Now I've got you hooked. Now the story has started, and I can slow burn a little bit from there. I have no idea what to expect. Watching all the media stuff, I'm hearing the exact same things from those people that had hand, like Jesse Cox and Xenos and Mr. Happy. Like, they're all saying very similar things. It's kind of like, I still have no idea where this is going. And I've talked to Torchwick, my son, about this a lot, that there is still, I think, the opportunity for Dawntrail to, I don't want to say be a bad thing, because an expansion and new content's never really a bad thing, but I still think there's the opportunity for Dawntrail to not grab the audience the way I feel it needs to and the way Square Enix hopes it does. Am I off base, Tark? Or do you still have some of those same concerns?
I talking about the jobs and how, like, nothing seems to have changed. Like, I feel that way about pretty much the entire expansion. Like, there's nothing new that's grabbing me as like, oh, I'm excited for this new piece of content. It's everything that we've come to expect from an expansion. 5 dungeons, MSQ, don't know where that's leading, like you said. So I don't know if that's going to be good or bad. They have a good track record with stories, so I'm confident we're going to get a good story.
They certainly do. And by the way, I'm very optimistic.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be good. I want it to succeed. I want to be engrossed in it.
We have no.
It's just so many question marks right now.
Yeah, we have no hook to be like, oh, I can't wait. This is going to be where this is leading us, but we have no idea what's going to happen here. So, and then the content is just kind of the same stuff we've been getting. So this is like the most mid I've felt about an expansion ever. Like, I'm just kind of like, okay, it's coming. I'm going to put my time in, but I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to feel, at when I get to the level 90 and it's all done.
Flynn, Baron Vagabond putting it very succinctly, thank you, in chat. With Square, they better live up to expectations, especially right now. And we're going to talk about some things a little later that kind of maybe paint the picture if you're not fully aware of Square's kind of precarious situation right now. We talked about them charging off and writing off as a loss of an awful lot of products in the hundreds of millions worth of work already put into those projects. We've talked about a reorg there. We've talked about a restructuring in the way they design games. That doesn't necessarily mean, and for some reason this was like a big news story over the last 48 hours, just because we're doing this doesn't mean that everything's got to be a big AAA seller right now. Like that, you made that clear the first time, but I guess people didn't get it and asked it at media days and stuff like that. So they're not in a... And gaming as a whole, Flynn, isn't in a great spot, right? We are seeing layoffs, massive layoffs. Oh my God, my dog just unplugged my camera. My dog literally just unplugged my damn camera.
That's freaking awesome.
And it's the power source for the video mixer, so I can't actually access the missing plug from here. I have to get up. So, Flynn, while I do that and hope that it doesn't just freeze my camera when I plug it back in, I'll turn it over to you to talk about how you feel going into this expansion, those concerns. I mean, Bandai Namco just announced basically being insolvent. Like, that is... It's crazy stuff. And Square, not exactly in the best position. How do they live up to expectations? Do you think they will? What are you expecting?
So when they finally showed the launch trailer for Dawntrail, that is when I actually started to get excited. The Solution 9 stuff from the get-go with the reveals was grabbing my attention a lot more than, yeah, we're having a beach party in El Dorado. Yeah, cool. We've done this similar kind of stuff in a way where we're just having a quick adventure, Gandalf. But this potential time capsule that people are guessing will begin with Solution 9, and that is just intriguing me so much, and I can't wait to get to that point of the story.
But you know that's going to be like at the very end. Like,
I think it's going to be a lot easier than we think.
I don't know.
If we are dealing with,
we might get hints here and there, but like
at 93, we are probably going to see Solution 9 a lot earlier than we think. Or at least the zones leading into it.
That would be crazy to see it.
Because at this point, unlike normally, we've only seen 4 of the open world zones rather than 5.
There's usually 6.
Yeah, they always keep one secret. Like we had Ultimate Field.
Well, they kept 2 secret last expansion, so
yeah. So yeah, there's a potential that we get to that city a bit like we did with Yomo. We see it a lot earlier, and then we deal with it fully later on. So yeah, I'm just hyped for that. And yeah, we haven't got Ishikawa as our main story writer this time around. So predictions for the quality of the main story is nowhere. Since we all love the Ishikawa writing, it's hard to predict how the writer's style is going to be the expansion.
Well, like you were saying, Mike, like to put it in terms of Square Enix, like if this expansion doesn't hit like it needs to, Square could be just a big heap of trouble. I'm sure they're going to sell the expansion, but like, I'm actually thinking like if I'm not really engaged, I might finally unsub for the first time ever.
Ooh. I mean, there's been moments leading into this that I felt like, yeah, why am I still sub this month? Like, I don't know, okay, fine. I'm going to go in and maybe do some island sanctuary farming real quick and hit up the Manderville Gold Saucer. Like, I could have been using this time to, like, farm mounts, farm minions, and maybe get a relic or 2 along the way. Like, here's how much I didn't care I didn't finish the Manderville. It was 1,500 tomestones for the last quest.
Yeah.
I never bothered finishing it. Like, I just like, I'll play other things. I want Dawntrail to suck me in. So on that note, what are you most excited for, Flynn? What's the thing you can't wait to try out, even if it's not going to be there day one? Because I know maybe Solution 9 might be somebody's answer. We'll count all of that stuff, right? everything we know we're getting in the .0 somewhere, even if it's not launch day, or the .1, we'll count it. If we know about it already, what has you the most pumped?
Probably whatever going to be our capstone trial. Because as it stands, the Xbox PlayStation achievements have updated, so it's revealed the two extremes. So spoilers out there for anyone who has accidentally seen the list. So I think just whatever the surprise level 100 trial is what I'm most hyped for right now.
Tark, where are you sitting?
Raids. It's always about the content. Raids, the extremes. I hope they're really good. I hope I can enjoy them and dive into them en masse. Because if I turn those down again, that I might be. I don't know. I might not make it to Eden Ultimate. So
I'm excited for that race for Eden Ultimate.
Right. For me personally, yes, I'm interested in the raids, obviously. Like, that's my content, dungeons and raids. Yeah, that's my primary bread and butter in all MMOs, not just Final Fantasy XIV. But I'm really interested in Pictomancer. Viper doesn't hold much allure for me. I'm sure I'll try it out. Will I max it out? Probably not. I just don't see that being my preferred play style. But just like, Dark Knight and stuff, what isn't my play style, I still give it a whirl. Just in case, because I don't mind tanking, I don't mind healing. I do them both in World of Warcraft, and so if I find one that gels with me, I will play it. One just hasn't gelled with me. I keep White Mage maxed, and I keep Warrior maxed in 14 just to be able to tank and heal for others when needed. But that's it. So Viper on the damage front, I'm not really a melee guy. I'll give it a whirl. But Picto on the other hand, I'm very much looking forward to. I like magic classes, but I really want to see how this is implemented. And there's a stupid part of me, I know this is dumb, there's a stupid part of me, Tark, that is a little bit interested in Beastmaster. Like, a little bit interested in a limited class. Now, Blue Mage, I dabble in a little bit here and there. Looks like Discord froze now. What the hell? Seriously? Are you guys not with me anymore? Discord has literally frozen. Oh, what a cursed comeback. A cursed comeback. But there's a little part of me that is interested in Beastmaster too. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be fantastic, but there's a love that I have for Beastmaster that comes from, hey, Discord, stop being a butt.
Hey.
Oh, no, I knew I was still live. Discord froze on everybody. But thank you, Baron, for letting me know I was still here. The Beastmaster is one of those dumb things I'm looking forward to simply because of my FF11. Right? I love playing Beastmaster and going after BCNMs with another Beastmaster and taking them down with just two people and our beasts. It's not going to be like that. I know. Don't worry about it. You don't have to talk me out of it. But there is a part of me that's like, this could be pretty cool. Blue Mage didn't do it for me. Maybe Beastmaster will.
All depending on how they implement it, right? So hopefully you find it engaging.
We'll see.
But
hey, Flynn, there was
give us shiny monsters to capture.
Exactly, right?
What would that be? 7.4, 7.5 before we finally see it?
Oh yeah, I mean it's down the road. It's down the road.
Way down there.
Hey Flynn, there was something noticeably missing from basically every live letter, both of them since the last time we had a show, media days. Now, not to say that nobody asked about it, but I didn't see anybody ask about it. What is it, and why do you think it might be missing?
Duty recorder updates. No, the raid finder, the raid planner, even.
Raid planner, yes.
Yeah, raid planner. Raid finder's a little different.
Hey, it's 20 past midnight. You can give me a break. But yeah,
it is weird that we have, obviously it's not something they would spend a ton of time on
but it's something we'd want to see before extreme trials come out, and we're getting that in 9 hours and some change.
Why do you think it's been missing? Is it just they
haven't got
just
it
wanted to
working.
talk about other stuff, or it's not quite ready, or
I want to go the it's not quite ready route, and we might see it ready for Arcadian.
Tark, do you think it's maybe just, hey, we that was so far down the list and we didn't want the live letters to be any longer than they already were, or is there maybe a problem with it?
There might be a problem with implementation. There might be a problem with harassment.
Baron says all of the above.
Yeah. It's also missing from the full patch notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be in the game at launch. Like I said, implementation, harassment. If you could put down whatever shapes you want, someone might get the good idea and show their raid team. No, I think we should do this phallic symbol thing.
Oh,
and
it's
have
always
everyone-
the TTP, right? That's an old
So-
Pocket thing from our Game Breaker days. Pocket coining the phrase "time to penis." Anytime you put any type of creative or artistic or something that lets you build in a game that's online, it's the TTP, the time to penis. Somebody is going to make a penis with it. It's just how long is it going to take?
Since
Pocket.
human time began.
Yeah, Pocket. Much love to Pocket. I always loved seeing Pocket. I never got to work with Pocket. She left Game Breaker right before I joined, but loved watching her content. I assume she's still streaming and stuff. I don't know. Now I'm gonna check.
Reach out.
Yeah,
It was something
so-
interesting.
Hey,
in
do you
the
play
patch notes,
14?
though.
What's that?
Yeah, she's
We're not
up to
getting new
like
content.
128K followers on Twitter.
Word.
Oh, okay. That's not the type of content I expected. Yeah, so Pocket is still doing her thing. Much love, Pocket, in case you ever happen to stumble upon this crazy podcast nobody watches.
Hello, Baron. And Tikal.
So if you are planning, by the way, and you don't know this yet, I'm giving you a last minute warning here. If you were planning to maybe do some world visiting, jump around with friends, use the world visit thing to dodge login queues a little bit, there are some limitations that we did not expect. And we found out about this last week. We actually did plan to do a show last week. The show notes were all put together and everything. And then it was kind of like I was having bad thunderstorms here. And I was like, you know what? Just let's not take a chance. All of this news will hold until next week. Nothing's going to change. We're going to talk about Dawntrail. And so we just held it. But Square Enix did announce that they do have some plans to deal with data center congestion, and the options are a little more limited for movement than you were probably hoping. So for those in North America, those of us here in NA, 3 of our data centers, Aether, Primal, and Crystal, will be unavailable for travel. So if you wanted to come and hang out with me on Behemoth in Primal, no dice, you can't. They're going to be unavailable for trial. That's a travel. That's why they opened up those 4 additional worlds on Dynamis. So if you're kind of working with your friends, you're going to want to pick a world over there on Dynamis where all of your friends can go meet. The world visit system will also be restricted, even for people on the same data centers. And if you can't log into any of the options above, you always, of course, have the option to go to Oceania. Nothing's changing there. For our friends overseas, particularly Japan, you're going to see the most issues. The number of non-homeworld characters that can log in total is limited. And once a world has reached maximum number of characters, non-homeworld characters that log out of that world won't be able to get back in. So a bit more limited than many probably were thinking. How you feel about it, Tark?
I'm glad I noticed it when I did, because my initial plan was, well, if I don't get top done by the time the expansion launches, in between when I get the MSQ, there's going to be 2 weeks before normal raid, 4 weeks before Savage. I could get top done during the expansion. Yeah, no, that's not a thing. So I'm glad I hunkered down, spent quite a bit of gil, bought some mercenaries, got that stuff done. It's not going to affect me because I don't need to go anywhere unless it's for something, party finder wise. And maybe this is going to give life to the primal data center and the party finder, because I had to go to Aether for anything for the last 6 months. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it is a little weird. It's a little weird. It's kind of like, well, we opened up all these worlds and fixed our servers and made them better and did all this stuff just to say, hey, on day one, we're locking it back down there, Flynn. Just stay where you are if you can. Stay where you are. So it's like there's a tornado inside. Stay inside your house.
Hopefully, the expansion launches keep on track. We're on an odd number, odd number release, so the servers are usually stable.
That's just what I'm guessing they're hoping is. They just want stable launch.
We have a stable launch, unstable, and it goes in our order.
Yeah, I will not be on at 5 a.m. So I'm hopeful that when I get on a few hours later, that we'll be okay. Are you guys planning to be on exactly at launch, barring system issues or tech issues, Tark?
Yes, Tark will be going to bed immediately after this, so I could be up at 2:30 in the morning.
Flynn?
For the first time, no. I've got a few things over the weekend that require me being social, and that's eating into I just chill on the sofa that's over there and just no life 14 during early access. So
yeah, I mean,
Sunday is my official start of I'm on our sofa, my wife is making me food, and I'm not moving.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to play tomorrow. How much, I don't know, because I'll be working, and then right after work, getting in the car and driving 4 hours to go out near Philly for a Final Fantasy TCG event. Hopefully I get my Nats qualification on Saturday, and then the rest of the season can just be fun stuff. I've been going to big events and like driving all this way, but I kind of don't like the meta right now in the trading card game. It doesn't the strongest decks, although there's a variety of them. None of them really are my particular play style. So I've been taking fun decks and having a blast playing. But obviously I'm going like 500 at best with playing off meta at meta events. But I think I'll have to break down and Saturday play a more meta deck just to try and nail down the qualification, and then the rest of the season I can go back to fun decks. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, or maybe I'll just play a fun deck, and who cares if I scrub out again? Yeah. I only drove 4 hours and bought a hotel room. It's just fun going with my son, right? Like it's one of those things that I really don't care about the performance hanging out with my kid.
All I know is TLC told me that we don't want no scrubs. Okay,
that's what I hear. And I shouldn't chase waterfalls.
By the way, gents, doing this downtown, we had pre-install earlier. Did you guys appreciate it?
Yes. Yeah, I got it done this morning, and I really liked logging in or waking up and being like, oh, yeah, we wrote about it on MMO Bomb, right, when it started. And I was like, that's right. I didn't do it yesterday. Let me go ahead and do it this morning. I absolutely love it. I didn't have any issues. It did its thing. Yeah,
it was a 5-6 hour download for me with my internet, so having it 48 hours before is really nice.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Yeah, I think mine was like 35 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching
3.4 megasecond.
Oof.
Oh, yeah, it takes a while.
Hey, did you guys hear that healers are planning to go on strike when Dawntrail launches?
Oh, aren't we in the second day of it right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're in the second day of it because the servers were down.
Hey, it counts, Mike. It counts.
It doesn't count.
We're people too, okay? Don't cross the picket line.
So, like, I kind of get it. And again, the extent of my healing in 14, I've never really been a main healer in 14. Other MMOs, yes, but so this is never really. I wouldn't call myself part of the healer community. I happen to have a max level healer that can do some things if you need them done type deal. So I don't feel the way that apparently a lot of healers feel, in that not only have healers not gotten love for a while, but they aren't getting much love in their regards or in their view in Dawntrail. And in fact, Zeno did a video where they ran a dungeon, him and some friends, without a healer, the first new dungeon in Dawntrail, and they completed it without a healer. Okay, like, that was cute and funny, but and some healers were pissed apparently, but obviously I would take that with a grain of salt, right? There's a difference between being able to pre-make your party of experienced players for a dungeon that basically doesn't use any new abilities or rotation compared to what you currently have because it's only 2 levels higher than you, and then kind of cheating in with a red mage to fill the healing gaps. Like, there's a lot of asterisks on that. Very cute video. Love Xeno anyway, and his content. But apparently it pissed healers off even more. Is this really a big deal? Like, is healing that dumb in this game, Tark? That this should be, whether the strike or not does anything, it won't. But whether or not that does anything, set that aside. Should there be a focus on this? Is this healing is either A, not necessary in most cases, or B, extremely dumb and easy, with the exception, of course, of the hardest raids?
Even with the hardest raids, there have been examples, top, where it's been done without any healers. So, like, the whole thing just like makes me sad because I enjoy healing. I've been a healer since 2.0 in the beta. So the fact that stuff can be done, like the dungeons, I've been doing dungeon runs without a healer, all Endwalker for the most part. Like, that's whatever. But when it comes to raids and them doing man mode and all these tanks and summoners and red mages filling gaps and reses, and then ultimates being done without a healer, it's just insanity. And yeah, they should maybe put some focus on it, because what's the point of the job if it's not actually needed?
Flynn, you feeling the same type of way here? Are these healers justified in kind of ditching the party finder for a while? And will Square Enix care?
My thoughts on this is Warriors have had the sustain to do this since Heavensward.
Yeah.
This ain't new to us, those of us who have played for years. Warriors always been this special boy, as Very Merry did in this video years and years ago. Warriors the holy trifecta. It can heal, it can tank, it can damage. That's its identity, and it has been for eternity. You take that out of the equation, like the no healer top, you take Warrior's identity away, that shifts, because it's the guy with the sustain. The fact that we can do dumb stuff, like have all healer runs, all tank runs, doing alliance raid with no job stones, it allows us as a community to do dumb things and enjoy ourselves in ways that's not normal. And that's
but you can understand why that may make somebody. You could understand though why that makes somebody that loves playing healing and loves helping the team survive and keeping them up and all that stuff. Why not having that would make them feel like, why the hell do I play this game then?
You do define that because pugs are idiots and they die. And that's where your healing skills come in, is with the random people. As Tark knows with all his ultimate proc recently.
It's Cow in chat saying, the guy's manifesto did have some good points. Warriors should not be able to survive on their own. No tank should be able to survive indefinitely without a healer. Yeah, certainly there's like, the oh shit button, right? Like that should absolutely be a thing for tanking classes and DPS classes in general in most MMOs with the type of content that 14 has. But being able to repeatedly use the oh shit button or a combination of buttons that basically become an oh shit button and have much faster cooldowns, certainly there are valid points. I agree with Takal on this one in there that I think Square definitely needs to take seriously. Now, is the strike going to do it? No. Like, they don't care. They're too worried about making sure the servers are stable for launch to care about. They're probably like, good, don't log in. That's you already bought it. We know you bought it. That's a little extra room. But they do have to do something about it, Tark, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, groups are still going to take healers. Maybe they only take one, but they're still going to take healers. The extreme that I said about top and you could do it without a healer, it is an extreme. That kind of gameplay and micromanaging every step of every player is for like one half of the 1/2%. So not
No
everyone's
doubt. Yeah,
doing
no
that kind of
doubt.
stuff. So the fact that it's possible is just sad, but there's still going to be a place for healers. So, and a strike is not going to do anything.
It does feel weird. In manifesto replies, I read through a good few pages. There was a JP player that ended up responding, and it was a case of in JP, it is a case of if you want to DPS, you DPS. If you want to heal, you heal. That is their full mentality with the jobs, and it was so weird for them to see the discourse in the West with their approach to how healers are perceived.
Well, yeah, I mean, and for a long time, it's always been, the debate has always focused more on healers that do DPS are better than healers that don't do DPS because healers were expected to do DPS because of the way they could in Final Fantasy XIV. Not saying that that's the right design philosophy. I am more of a traditionalist where you're the healer, keep us all up. Like, we'll worry about the damage. We'll worry about the tanking. Keep us all up. I'm a little more traditional. I'm a little more old-fashioned when it comes to that.
The Realm Reborn raid scene before the healers realized, we could probably do some damage for a minute.
Tetrodox is one of my favorite people. I don't know if I know you or not. If not, welcome to the show. Coming from Final Fantasy XI, it's Paladin that should be able to survive a long time on their own, not Warrior. And you are absolutely right. Absolutely right. 100%. Final Fantasy XI, near and dear to my heart. That's why I actually think I might be a little interested in Beastmaster. Although I thought I'd be interested in Blue Mage, and I wasn't. What do I know? Hey, let's slide over and talk about some other Square Enix news. But don't forget in the comments below to let us know your thoughts on Dawntrail. What are you most excited for? Do you have some of the same concerns that we and others in the community have? And if you're a healer, let me know how you fix this. Is this something that needs to be fixed on your jobs, on your healers, or is it a fix that needs to be delegated down to warriors or to classes that have maybe a little too much survivability? What would you like to see Square Enix do? Let us know in the comments below. Heading over to some additional Square Enix news. Oh, for God's sakes, man. I only did like a 3-minute segue. Come on.
Only because I realized I put it in the wrong section. For those of you who have not installed 14 yet and don't know how to install it, someone on Gilgamesh has decided, I'll make a website called how to literally play FF14.com. I'll teach you how to go through the archaic systems so you can play the game.
Not as archaic as Play Online.
Yeah, the guide would be 7 pages longer if you had to do it for Play Online. I technically know you because you watch all the stuff on various account names and comment sometimes across multiple platforms for years. Well, I very much appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm not familiar with that name, so it's just another name I know. Now that you've totally blown my segue by taking us back into 14 stuff to talk to people watching a Final Fantasy XIV podcast about how to install the fucking game. Let's talk about Square Enix at the Nintendo Direct. Announced a number of things, including finally a Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake release date. I'm showing the trailer here, coming November 14th. I can't freaking wait. It looks fantastic, doesn't it?
It's so good.
It looks very good. It looks very good.
It wasn't even the date that had me the most hyped. It was when the artwork came up and they expanded the artwork and you see the other two in the what's the Eldritch?
Yep.
Erdrick series 1 and 2, and I'm like, yes, this is amazing. So hype.
Yep, because on top of that, they did tease a Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. Now that we don't have a release date for, but as soon as like you said, as soon as it came up, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Yeah, 2025. Yes. That's all we know. We don't have a window or anything.
After all that, no Dragon Quest news to get into this. It's like, okay, I can wait for 12 a bit longer.
Yeah, Dragon Quest 12 still just
out there
sitting on the books. Make a prediction. Was it one of the canceled projects?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Hundreds of millions in write-offs. You don't think DQ12 and its leadership leaving and challenges they've had with getting a hybrid battle system to work and no news besides a image change on the logo in like a year now? You don't think it was one of the ones canceled?
No, I just reckon it'll be next year before we hear about it.
Not saying I want it to be canceled, by the way. I definitely want this to come out. But I'm not ruling it out. I think there's a shot that and it also, by the way, doesn't mean that they wouldn't start over and try a different direction for a Dragon Quest 12. I'm not saying that they
might be the case now.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they would can it and just walk away from Dragon Quest forever, but maybe they looked at this project and said, this has just got to start over. I think there's a possibility.
That might be. That might be starting over. That might be in the cards, but
also got news in the Nintendo Direct of Romancing Saga 2 coming a week before Halloween, October 24th. It was one of those like Square Enix presents the Nintendo Direct presents presentations again this month.
Square showcase at the Nintendo Direct of Square Enix games. Yes.
Right. Can't wait for this either. I'm a Romancing Saga fan. I want the Dragon Quest, but hey, this will tide me over for a month. If I'm already, I would assume by then I'll be well done with Dawntrail's MSQ and everything, so I'll have plenty of time for these. Although I say that, but I still have not fucking played Star Ocean Second Star Remake.
I know.
Still sitting upstairs sealed.
Still kind of big.
So is Super Mario RPG Remake. I know that's not technically Square, but whatever. The original was.
So many games, so little time.
I know, right?
We're a year later and Tark still hasn't finished 16, so...
I mean, fair.
Have you still not finished 16?
No. No, I haven't.
It's only been a year.
This whole last patch was like, I'm gonna catch up on some games, but then I got the itch to do top, and that just sucked 4 months out of my life. So
Ninja Panda in the chat saying 14 will keep you hostage. It definitely has in this case. Did you manage your other goal of maxing all your jobs?
No.
It's like, I'm such a shitty gamer.
I was into fishing, like during the, in your party finder, you're looking for a group.
I'm such a shitty gamer for you.
I'm gonna go fishing, and that's what I did in between. So yeah, it's been great. But,
and then we got news that Fantasia Neo Dimension, that RPG previously exclusive to the fucking Apple Arcade of all places.
Yeah, good decision.
Is going to be coming to PC and Steam, or consoles and Steam. Sorry.
Yeah.
In the winter of this year. I actually can't wait for this. It's not only is this, Nobuo Uematsu as far as composition for the work, but Hironobu Sakaguchi working on. Like, I wanted to play this, but not enough to actually mess around with the Apple Arcade. And then the way they released it, with like these time gates, and I was like, I'm not interested in this. This is going to be all in once. There's going to be some additional features added to it. I was talking to a friend of mine who's actually played this and said, this is so worth playing. I'm so glad it's not just going to be Apple Arcade, because more people need to see this game. So I'm very, very hyped for this one. I can't wait to try it.
I'm also hoping more Miss Walker games come out of their locked in state.
Oh, like
it's the ones they released on the Wii, and that's the only place you can play them.
Xenosaga.
That's Monolith Studio.
Xenoblades come. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not Square.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is like he's saying ones like this.
Oh, yeah.
Lost Story, Lost Odyssey, that kind of stuff from Miss Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Blue Dragon.
Yeah, Blue Dragon.
That's. Can you get Blue Dragon anywhere? I mean, it was the 360, so I'm assuming it's on the Xbox Arcade.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You can still buy the 360 copy.
Yeah.
Well, the 360 storefront is
no remake or update or anything though on that one.
Not that we've heard anything about. Octopath Traveler is now on PS5.
Finally for you.
Yeah,
Use
finally.
PS5. So that's stoked. I'm stoked about that. I'm probably not going to get a physical edition, but hey, I can play it on my console of choice now. Yay!
Yeah, or your Steam Deck.
Okay, Bass.
I'll wait for you to buy me that. That's fine.
I gotta buy you a Steam Deck or a Game Pass. Which one do you need there?
You know what? Let's just we'll go with Game Pass. That's fine.
There
I
you
don't need the handheld.
How about another Final Fantasy IX remake debacle?
Debacle.
Yeah.
I think you mean leak.
Spoiled all those years ago on the Nvidia leaks,
Mhm.
and then other things that kind of hinted that this was a thing.
And Yoshi
Well,
P.
last week, Epic Games, I don't want to say they had a leak because this wasn't a leak. This was them being stupid. Okay? Like, imagine a Steam database site that does the same thing except for Square or for Epic Game Store. But Epic Games did not mark these things as private in the background, and so the Epic Store Game Store database was able to see them. Well, what did they see? We saw a few different products from Sony, from Square, and some other companies that were coming to PC. And it doesn't mean that they're exclusive to Epic, by the way. Like, these could just be Epic's listings for these things, not just being available on Epic. I think it would be kind of dumb for... Although they did that, like, timed exclusive for, what, 7 Remake? Wasn't that limited to Epic Game Store for a while?
Yes. Yes.
And there were some things in the list that say, hey, maybe that Final Fantasy IX remake is still a real thing. Tark, what happened? What was in the list there?
Well, you had things that were pretty feasible, like The Last of Us 2. Sony's been porting their big titles, their first party games to PC more and more. So feasible. Final Fantasy 16. We knew that was going to be coming. Don't know if it's going to be Epic exclusive or not. I think there was mention of Turok that has been made public and fully aware, I think, at Summer Game Fest. So, hey, more credence to this leak. And then a little tagline of something called Momo. Turns out to be Final Fantasy 9.
Which also has several listings.
There were, because there were some other listings that kind of pointed to that one. We had an early purchase bonus product show up called Tetra Master Starter Pack. We had a pre-order bonus product show up as Thief's Knives. We had the Cuisine set also in there. Obviously, Tetra Master being the card game, Thieves' Knives being one of Zidane's weapons later in the game. Cuisine set, probably a Quina reference. So, yeah, I mean, it's just confirmed. Just confirm it at this point.
Yeah.
Please.
That's funny, Ninja Panda.
Please. But there wasn't a 9 remaster not too long ago. I think I got it on PC. That wasn't a remaster. No. It was just released. Who is calling me? Seriously?
It looks a lot better than it did on the PlayStation. I'm just saying that.
It's just
trophies. Yeah. But no, this is a full remake that we're talking about here. However, Yoshi P says, not me, bro, on this topic.
Totally not me.
He says, not me, bro. Not me. He says, hey, yeah, we're not, as far as his business unit, formerly Creative Business Unit 3. I honestly forget what the new name of it is. What they changed the name?
Creative
Is it just
Studio 3?
Is it just Creative Studio 3? I couldn't remember. He was asked about it, and he says, no, that's not. It's if that thing exists, it's not at my side of the pond here. So I have no knowledge about it.
Solution 9 is in 14. Just a coincidence, I swear.
Just a coincidence. But he did say that they are working on multiple projects that would be revealed in the near future.
And he is being very buddy with Sakaguchi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they did state what studio was helping with the Fantasia port, and it's not a Creative Studio 3.
Yeah, but I think Yoshi P greased the wheels to make it all happen. So,
Well, he's one of the higher ups, so.
well, yeah, he's on the board.
Is he working on it? Like, is he lying, Tark?
Is he working on it? No. Does he absolutely know about it? Of course.
Oh no, he absolutely knows about it. But do you think it honestly isn't in CS3 anywhere?
No. Could it be in CS3? Maybe.
Well, he says it's not. He says it's not. He says CS3 is working on 2 other unannounced projects, which we'll know about soon, which I find very, very interesting.
Yeah.
It has to be in CS3, right?
No, well, strictly speaking, they haven't announced 9 yet, so it could be there.
Well, no, because he's specifically saying, no, we're not. CS3 is not working on the Final Fantasy IX remake.
He also said he wasn't working on 16.
True. Well, that's my whole point.
Yeah.
He's
It's like
a
it has
liar.
to. Who else do you give it to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not saying Square doesn't have its fair share of talented development teams in other departments as well, but you give it to your Final Fantasy Dragon Quest lead. Like that's where you put it.
Is Ito-san still at Square Enix? That's the question.
Who, Ito?
You know, I mean,
Hiroyuki
what
Ito.
are there, 4 or 5 units now?
Because if he's still there, he could be back in charge because he did direct the original.
Yeah, he's still there, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, so he did what? He was director on 6, the original 9, and 12, I think.
12, Dissidia, Murder Soul Suspect, Crystal Chronicle stuff.
Yeah, I'm talking about mainline titles. He directed 6, 9, and 12.
Yeah.
He's worked on other ones too, but as far as being the director of the project,
Right,
it's got to be CS3.
Yeah, Creative Studio 1's doing 7 remake stuff. Studio 2 is doing the Dragon Quest remake stuff.
I mean, I guess there is the argument, though, that let's say CS3 is working on, obviously, Dawntrail and future 14 content, presumably doing some type of planning or very, very early development on a potential follow-up MMO at some point, and 2 unannounced projects, as well as being the caretakers of any future 16 DLC that may or may not happen, right? That's a pretty big slate. And then the 7 remake and rebirth and stuff like that. So maybe you do put it in a different crowd. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot.
4.
What, in CS4?
Studio 4. Yeah. Because they handle the Mana series and remasters and ports of different franchises from what's their main focus. And they're I mean, Vision's
maybe they gave it to
some.
Maybe like August. Yoshi P is helping out, but they gave it to a different studio simply so that he could honestly answer the question that no, Creative Studio 3 is not working on it. They were like, we don't want you to have to lie.
Another unit, but like 3 is helping out.
Right, exactly. In a final piece of news, remember Square Enix really wanting to get into NFTs and really wanting to get into AI, and we haven't really seen much on the NFT front besides those stupid digital cards.
Because they're going to be so aggressive about it.
And that one game that they showed a teaser on. That's all the stuff that they're like, oh, we just, you know what? The market has definitely shifted away from this. We need to cancel all of this.
Well, then they said, hey, we're going to be super aggressive with AI and how we use it. Now, 6 to 7 months later, Flynn, maybe not so much?
Yep. That's all I can say when I saw this. In the newsletter, originally, it was like, yeah, we have to be aggressive. It could shape what we create. Now it's a case of, all right, let's shift it back and put AI where it's not creative aspected.
Yeah, the exact quote is, AI itself has tremendous potential. However, there are also many risks involved. We have introduced a flow whereby AI-related tools are used internally only after being properly examined. So kind of pumping the brakes a little bit on this one. Kind of on this topic, too, not directly related to Square Enix, though. Warner and Sony and some other music studios are suing a couple AI creation tools right now. Ironically, their argument is that these tools, these AI tools, are sampling the musical works that are owned by Sony and Warner and everybody to train their AI to then produce music. So exactly what these movie studios want to do with actors, their voices, art, and everything else, train AI to do that and create it so they don't have to pay people to do it. They are suing these AI learning models because they're using music to do it, saying we didn't give you permission to use our copyrighted material. So it's literally the exact argument that artists have been making since AI started being able to do, sampling off of just grabbing art off the internet randomly without anybody's permission. Now we're seeing these big companies turn that same argument around and actually take it to court. Now where it goes is going to be interesting, because these are the studios that if they take it to court and they win, they have just set legal precedents for the argument that they've been saying doesn't apply to AI creation and learning from in other mediums. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. I'll be keeping my eye on that one. That's going to wrap it up for us. Before we finish off, though, let's go to Love It or Leave It. Love It or Leave It is the way we end every episode of the Relic Grind here. It's where I give you something Square Enix related. Could be a game, a feature in a game, something they've done or said, or just something tangentially related to Square. And you tell me whether you love it, want more of it, or leave it, cast it aside. There's no fence sitting, no middle ground. Excuse me, I hiccuped there. So I'm going to make you gentlemen get your predictions in now. Fucking hiccups. Make your Love It or Leave It expansion prediction. And we'll just call this the .0, not like the .1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The .0, it's launching tomorrow expansion. Make your prediction. Will you, Tark, love it or will you leave it? If you had to guess right now.
If I had to guess right now, we're just talking about 7.0.
Just 7.0, baby.
I'm going to have to leave it. I thought my hype level is not where it normally is with an expansion. And like, right now it's sitting at like, oh, this is already the 5th best expansion for me. And it hasn't even launched.
Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the 5th best.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you math did there. Oh,
yeah.
Flynn, what do you think? 7.0.
Well, we've been here for 10 years. I'm probably going to end up loving it one way or the other until Asians come back, and I just shake my head.
I mean, there's still some out there, but I don't think they're going to be Asian-like.
I like the new classes. I always like new classes. I feel like the current classes are kind of... They're going to... Like, I don't anticipate much change in the way my black mage is going to play or anything like that, or my red mage is going to play. Mm-hmm. I'm a little question marky about the story right now, just like everybody else is. If I had to guess right now, I probably feel like the end of the .0 is going to leave me feeling lukewarm. Just like, okay, that was fun, but where are we going? And since I can't fence it, I'm going to lean on the negative side of things and say probably leave it. I hope I'm wrong. And of course, next week or the week after, whenever we start talking about some of the content, obviously next week's show will not contain spoilers. We may talk about impressions of the classes and stuff like that, but we will not be doing spoilers next week. But I feel like this is one that I'm going to love while I play it and then kind of leave while I'm waiting for .1. Because it's not going to, I just have this feeling it's not going to pick up story and narrative-wise as fast and as awesome as I want it to. I understand why it probably won't, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. So I'm sure I will enjoy it. I'm sure I will have a good time. But if I had to guess right now, it'll leave me lukewarm. Since I can't sit on the fence in love it or leave it, I'll put it in the leave it bin. Let me know where you fall in the comments below. And chat, don't go anywhere after the show. We've got a stream coming up with Ms. Faye Death. What's up, Faye?
Hey, what up? I'm back.
You are back. Are you still in BG3?
I am.
Playing a little Baldur's Gate.
Because I got to take Baron with me.
That's true.
I'm staying loyal to my chat.
That's true. I understand. I understand. Tark says Dawntrail, a Forspoken tuna fish sandwich. That's kind of fitting.
Will it
Tark.
be a self-contained
Kind of
tuna fish sandwich?
Don't go anywhere, chat. Give us a minute or two to take the stream down, relabel it. Faye will be right back up to hang out with you and play some Baldur's Gate 3. That'll do it for us this week. Until next week, Flynn, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Flynn_Lowlight or within Crisis. You won't find me on Twitch for a little bit because I'll be busy with Dawntrail off stream, melted into my sofa, not caring about much else.
Tark.
Sure to YouTube, all at Tarkoth Gaming. I will be streaming this. I won't put it up on YouTube for a little while, but yeah, you can find me playing.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is one of those weird ones, right? Like when you stream the expansion, like most new games, like people are gonna like, oh, like, play that on launch day, and people come watch it. Like people just actively avoid every stream out there besides like the big five, right? Like that's it.
You go into the streams until service go live, then you disperse.
There, exactly.
The only category where you get bigger numbers when the game's not working.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there, Magic Man 1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, RAIDEO, and you'll know every time we're going live with a podcast, a stream, hanging out, doing some Final Fantasy trading card game live from our locals each week here in the Berg. Until next time, gang, happy launch. Stay safe. See you on the servers.